July 4th? Nowhere, girl. Opening her eyes just before the alarm went off, Fluttershy sat up in the hotel suite she shared with Rainbow. While they both returned from their nightly events at the same time, Rainbow had stayed up to play games on her phone for a bit, and probably would be completely dead to the world. With surprise to shift around hair girl, she looked over to her friend's bed, seeing it empty. I wonder where she is. The question was answered a few minutes later as Rainbow stepped out of the bathroom, looking well, and his right swing. However, the chilly, "Oh, you're awake," issue from the Hispanic teen's lips didn't put Fluttershy at ease. Rainbow, is something wrong? Fluttershy asked. Yeah, you. The look in Rainbow's burgundy's eyes was harsh, not angry, but disappointment. It seemed as though the scowl on Rainbow's face was there to prevent her from doing anything else. You should know that Sunny and I had breakfast with your parents yesterday, Rainbow informed her. You know what? I was willing to go to bat for you. Even though Discord is the most awesome rocker ever, I was willing to go to bat for you. You know why? Because you're my best friend. And we've known each other practically since 2nd grade. Fluttershy sat up, saying nothing. But after today, I don't really know if I can look you in the face. You're the kindest, sweetest girl I know, but not anymore. She sat down in a chair across the room from Fluttershy, an action the other girl took clearly. The man I met yesterday, the man your mother is married to, loves and half family with, was not the Discord I see on stage. You know who I saw? I saw your father. Someone I see inside you every day. Well, every day. Until now. Rainbow stopped over, pointing right to Fluttershy's face, adding, But do you know who I've seen here the past 2 days? It's not the Fluttershy I know. No, it's T-Rex Stays persona. Not the person you told me he is, but the fuck you, I do what you want, and I own the place attitude I've seen on countless times over. You know what? The past few days, that's been you. You may not want to have anything to do with your dad, but that's not my problem. Frankly, I'm tired of having to explain your busyness to our friends, your family, and everyone who's come across you. Fluttershy's eyes reflected heartbreak. Rainbow didn't care. Instead, she stormed out the door, not bothering to look back. Fluttershy sat there, hand reaching out towards the door as if willpower could bring Rainbow back to her. But as the gulf of time between the present and when Rainbow left grew, Fluttershy eventually brought the hand back to bury her face in it, along with the other one. Her heart wrenched in two as she realized she had not only started to push away the persons she wanted the least near her, but also those she wanted close by as well. And if Rainbow was willing to tell her off, how did the rest of her friends feel? Rose, you goddamn better be right about this! Rainbow said at breakfast a few minutes later. I just hit Fluttershy hard, and I'm not going to be able to forgive myself if she doesn't recover. You hit Fluttershy? Rarity said, aghast. What were you thinking? I think she means in the metaphorical sense, Rares, Applejack added. Young Rainbow wouldn't hurt anyone who didn't deserve it, or couldn't take it. However, as precautious, he looked at the person in question and asked, I am right, aren't I? Before Rainbow could comment further, Rose interjected, Look, I explained myself. I'm not going to do it again, Rainbow. You're just going to have to trust me and Sleepy, okay? Yeah, you I trust. Her I barely know. Rainbow grunted as he sat back in the chair, crossing her arms and panted. Gee, thanks, Rainbow. You really inspired me with your touching care, Sleepy snarked. Look, P, Sunset replied, don't take it personally. Rainbow's just a little freaked out right now. Go fool me. It's okay. Everything's gonna be fine, Twilight commented, trying to assert the other girl. It's just, well, even I have to admit, some trepidation with this whole plan of yours. After all, you have no real guarantee it's going to work out the way you think it will. Fluttershy's an unknown variable in all this. It'll work, Twilight dear, Rarity drawled. It might perturb Fluttershy, but as you know, in the end, she'll see reason. And how are you so sure, Rarity? Rainbow demanded, banging on the table. Rainbow, enough, Sunset told her. Twilight and I trust Sleepy, and you should too. Besides, she was honest with us about her past, and that was probably hard for her to do. Fine, Rainbow grunted, finally acquiescing. But you better take care of her, Rose. Fluttershy's delicate, believe it or not. I will, Rose assured her friend. We'll both be there. Now go hit the concert and have some fun. Leave the tough stuff to me and SP. And that's my decision, Discord said. I know it's not one of you guys wanted to hear, but it's one I have to make for myself and my family. And I still think you're out of your fucking mind, Screwless told him. Fuck what the label has to say, Day. What they're going to do, drop us? If that happens, everyone from Sony to Subplot will coughing up costs to sign us. Or maybe we should just create our own label, Indie all the way. You can't do this, Freebase gasped. I just signed a deal with Music Master to put their line of bass guitars. Screwless rolled her eyes. What do you think about priorities, Troy? She snarked. Turning against her. Discord, she continued. You know, Tricky Fingers just asked me if I take the lead guitar slot. I was thinking about splitting my time between the two bands. Hope I don't have to plan making it my permanent gig. As for that free gun B aside, I like to think all of us as a very dysfunctional family. Yeah, thanks, Violet, Screwless laughed. Anytime, Skylark, Screwball replied with a grin. Well, seriously, I like betting in this bond. I was seriously stoked when I heard I was being picked as the replacement for T-Deck. Working with you has been the highlight of my spoiled-ass Hollywood life. A smile fell from her face as she made. Mommy also success as fuck, but I don't want it to end. It won't. Not immediately. Discord explained. If I'm retiring, the label's going to at least want one last album, and the fans are going to want a farewell tour. A real farewell tour. Not like that shit Big Nose is pulling. Big Nose? A voice from behind Discord. Miss Posey, interjecting herself into the conversation. He's a rock star. Nedville's royalty lyrics, Screwless explained. About 5 years ago, he supposedly found God or Islam or something like that. He said he was going to retire and start his farewell tour. 2 albums, a world tour, and 1 reality show on TNT later, and he's still just about to retire. I see, Posey commented, sitting down next to her husband. Well, you know, Discord is as good as his word. If he says it's just 1 farewell tour, it's 1 farewell tour. Freebase looked at Discord, then the others with a scowl. He probably stomped out of the room, angry as could be. What, do you mind? Screwless asked. No, besides, I got the feeling you 3 need to talk alone. The younger woman answered. Boss, seriously think about what you're doing. I'm not saying it's just your guitarist or your friend. I'm saying it's someone who's been a long-time fan of your work. The band has been through so much. You and Skylark are lark legends. Things always end too soon, boss. Don't let something else end too early, too. You really fucked up this one up, you know that? Screwless snarled. I really hope you come to your senses before you make an announcement on stage. So right now, you're seriously off base. So he then turned to Posey and asked, You need to lock some sense to this idiot. He's like this because of our daughter, Posey told her friend. Yeah, makes me wonder where she got that from. Giving one last glare at her bandmate and friend, Cena walked out with the others. Discord sighed. I guess practice is cancelled then. He plucked down a nearby chair and ran his hands through his hair. Oh, fuck me, did I screw this one up but good. Posey bent down on her haunches and looked at her husband in the eyes. You know, I'm reminded of the lyrics to Love is Like an Insane Chimera. Really? With some smiles, he quoted from his lyrics. Love is like an insane chimera. When you least expect it, it's gonna get ya. Stripping hearts with love, it's gonna get ya. Now take my heart and let's play fetcha. Yeah, that's why it's one of my earlier songs, he admitted. Doesn't have the wordplay I'm known for now. Reaching to a nearby cooler, he pulled out a bottle of raspberry lemonade. Opened it and took a swig. Am I crazy to be doing all this for Fluttershy? Will she even realize I'm giving all this up for her and Angel? Does it matter if she does? Posey asked. You're making a difficult decision. One I'm not sure you need to make. It was rock and roll done to my family in, Discord commented in a way it was clear he was quoting. And before you ask, Palsy Dreamer. 60s, British psychedelic rock artist. Was the top of the world, but his wife left him and took the kids because he was never home. Drank himself to death in a Birmingham hotel, but died in the exact same way as Mozo Rise of the Doors. So guess who history remembers? Love, I would never... I've had that nightmare so many nights, he said, his eyes unfocused looking away. You know, I just recently watched American Pop. I would love to see a pony version of that right about now. I was alone. You were in the arms of another man that my children called their father, because they all knew that I was wasting alone away in a penthouse with some cheap hooker I hired just for the illusion of attention. That I died. And the next day, the paper said he was a rock star. He died. The world moves on. He looked at his wife, his face haunted. I see that hatred in my daughter's eyes. That's all I can see now. That Fluttershy hates me. She doesn't hate you, hon. She just doesn't understand. Yeah, she hates Discord, and she can't see the difference between the rock star and the man who gave her life. He seemed withdrawn to himself as he had. That's why Discord has to die, so that my family can live. The hours continued on, and as one set rolls into the next during the day, the crowds watching the concerts raved along with the bands on stage, having the time of their lives. The final day of the music fest was especially set for the bands handpicked by tickets purchasers who would play. A variety of styles rolled on the stage, from the polyphonic spree to the McPans, from Sapphire Shores to Bucket of Fireworks and more. Each band played to the utmost of their abilities, and to the audience in the seats and watching from international pay-per-view, this was going to be one of the greatest moments in modern cultural history. At the moment, Depeche Mode was on stage, getting the audience to sing along. The crowd lapped up the ambience, feeding it back into the band, creating a symbiotic effect of entertainment for both performer and listener alike. There was not a single person in the rows who wasn't enjoying the whole of the concert. Except for 7 girls, all of which were trying to get their mind off the fact that in 20 minutes, the final act of the evening would come on, Discord and his band. It was hard for them to notice the absence of 3 of the group. Sweet Pea, Melancholy Rose, most of all Fluttershy. It made it hard enough that the 3 of them could barely stand to be at the concert. Whatever I've done, I've been staring down the barrel of a gun. Pinkie sang along, trying to raise the spirits of her friends, despite the fact that her own was flagging. Fortunately, she remembered the lyrics to all of Depeche Mode's songs in case of Depeche Mode's emergency. Pinkie, dear, well, I appreciate the enthusiasm, Rarity said. I don't feel this is the best thing right now. Is there something you need from me? Pinkie, I'm quite serious about this. Are you having your fun? Pinkie, please. Rarity said, feeling a little exasperated when her friend was ignoring her. Would you listen to me? I never agreed to be, Pinkie said with a wink and a grin, your holy one. Warriors, just give it up right now. Applejack tried not to laugh as Pinkie continued singing along. She's trying to help us get over our funk right now. And personally, I'm not going to blame her for that. I understand that, Applejack darling. But if she's going to do that, I'd rather she done so when Sapphire Shores was on stage. At least I know all the lyrics to her songs. That's okay, Pinks, Octavia said, patting her mock distraught friend on her shoulder. I didn't know any of the bands here, so I'm just as lost. Twilight looked at Sunset. So, do you think the others will join us soon? Especially... Sunset sighed as the band on stage finished their song. Thanked the audience and stepped off as the intermission kicked in, letting everyone head off towards restrooms. Watching as the crowds fled away from them and towards the long latrine lines, Sunset looked at the night sky and asked, Girls, what if I was a unicorn and had magic powers? Twilight blinked. Sis, I'm trying to picture you as a unicorn. I thought you saw me as one of your dreams back when you were sick. No, I mean real life this time, Twilight explained. For starters, you had to be a horse, white, and with a horn on your forehead. Octavia facepalmed, and behind the 2 of them, the others tried very hard not to laugh as they knew the truth. Pinkie was about to say something, but a glare from Rainbow got her to immediately pipe down. Rarity finally recovered enough to say, Well, going along with this mental exercise of yours, Sunset. For one, I would start by saying I'm sure you would make a very enough unicorn success. That being said, I fail to see how such an instance would make a point. The point I'm trying to make is that if you or anybody really were to ask me to fix it with magic, I couldn't. Magic doesn't make it go away. That's because magic isn't real, Sunny, Twilight pointed out. Pinkie admonished her. Finally! You're brilliant, Sunny. Super fun pretending time. Applejack shook her head at that, just face palm. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is if I was a unicorn with all sorts of magic to fix stuff, I couldn't fix that. There are no shortcuts to the human heart, and there never will be. It's not who we are, after all. That's rather poignant, Rainbow began. Poignant, Octavia corrected, pronouncing it the right way. Yeah, that. Anyway, that's rather insightful of you, Sonny. But I think we all know what you mean, and we're all worried that if this is gonna work. I sure hope it will. Instead of replying, Sunset pointed to a star in the sky. That star was formed billions of years ago. Might not even be there now, having gone nova long before any of us was born. Yet its light continued on so we can see it, having traveled countless millennia to get here. There's no guarantee it was ever going to touch us. There's so many asteroids, worlds, comets, stars, etc., between that one and us. And yet, somehow it arrived to bathe us in its radiance. The point is I'm trying to make, there's no guarantee that anything will go right. Maybe P and Rose will fail. Maybe Fluttershy's too wrapped up in her anger and hate to let go. Maybe there's no way the breeze can be mended. But maybe, just maybe, magic will happen. A smile came onto Sunset's face. After all, friendship is magic. As the girls sat relaxing in their chairs, two concert girls seemed to be reminiscences of Snip and Snails walked towards their seats. Though she hadn't attended, Sunset could clearly overhear their conversation. Man, where the fuck did you hear that rumor?
I'm telling you, man, it's solid. Discord's quitting the biz.
Bullshit, no way that's happening. I'm betting at best Freebase is announcing he's leaving the band. Good thing, too. Nowhere near as good as Steel Strings was.
No, man, it's true shit. Heard it from that guy I get my weed from. It says that he overheard it while walking past the dressing rooms.
Oh, wait. I need to redo this conversation. I just got hit with a blast of inspiration. Take two. Hey, man, where did you hear that rumor? I'm telling you, man, it's solid. Discord's quitting the biz. Bullshit! No way that's happening. I'm betting at best. Freebase is announcing that he's leaving the band. One thing rule. He's nowhere near as good as Steel Strings was. Nah, man, it's true shit. Heard I got that from the weed from. He says he overheard it while walking past the dressing rooms. Yeah, it's about going to believe some butthead Alexia. Hey, bro, he got us tickets, right? He knows what's up. Just watch. In a little while, it's gonna be a whole different world. Okay, let's bring her two things. One, how long have you been working on your Cheech and Chong impression? A very long time, Trixie. A very long time. Okay, Trixie just wanted to be sure. Two, no one's going to know who those two are! No, but the right people will. The two continued out their seats, mindless of what they revealed to Sunset. Barbara was wondering if it was true. Discord would do anything to get back at Fluttershy's good graces. But it would go so far as to actually quit the industry he clearly loved so much and had such an impact on? Fluttershy even respond to that? Barbara wanted to leave now and slap Fluttershy silly. She certainly had the skills for it. But that would be the old me. The person I didn't want to be. She only admitted. I had to believe that Fluttershy can change, just like Twilight believed in me, just like they both did. A loudspeaker kicked on with a metallic screech before a loud voice boomed over the air. In 20 minutes, the moment you've all been waiting for happens. Discord takes the stage! Sunset took out her phone and looked at the time. 20 minutes until something. Well, she wasn't even sure what was going to happen. And one way or the other, it was going to be permanent. I believe you, Flutters. Sunset thought to herself, don't let me down. Still dressed in her pajamas, Fluttershy sat down on top of the bed, flicking on the TV. So far, there had been nothing that interested her, as she already seen the most recent episode of Philly Fantasia. Finally, she checked the PP feed channels to see if there was anything that could have interested her. When that didn't happen, she finally gave it up and put it on Comcast Music on Demand, who had the US rights to the festival. She promised herself that she wouldn't watch the whole time. In fact, if anything, she would use the time to pack her bags for tomorrow's flight back home, find a way to apologize to her friends. So he had to admit that circumstances made her less than polite to those he cared enough to come with her, so he treated them less than kindly. Additionally, she met Rose and Sweet Pea while here, as he hadn't made a very good impression on them, she was sure. She spent the majority of the day writing drafts of apology letters on her tablet while listening to the music. Some of the bands she liked, others not so much. It was clear they were putting all their time into it, performing for the crowd that wanted them there. They too wanted to be here, sharing the music and style with those in the audience. Though no musician herself, Fluttershy was impressed with the showmanship and professionalism that so many of the bands displayed. She barely remembered times back when she'd seen flashes of that in her father, before he became what he was. He was still successful, but there was a side that he showed to the public, a side he showed to his family. This discordant musician would never acknowledge his daughter. This discordant man loved her more than anything. But one day he went away, and all that was left. Fluttershy shook her head, trying to dispel the thoughts. She didn't need to be morose now, she had letters to write in. The camera closed up on several people dancing at Rose. Whether by fate or just by chance, the camera zoomed in on a Hispanic, rainbow-haired girl, bobbing along to a white girl with unruly pink hair. Several of them were just enjoying the show, and simultaneously warmed and broke her heart to see her friends on TV, no less. Having the time of their lives. Fun because they were enjoying themselves. Pain because they were having fun without her. I should be there, a part of her soul chastised herself. I should be there with them, having fun. I should be getting to know Rose and Sweet Pea better. I should have spent more time with my mom and brother. Turning off her tablet, Fluttershy looked at her reflection and said simply to herself, "You're just a rude cunt, aren't you?" And that was something she couldn't deny. After all, the signs were there. She had done this before, after all. It had been the first week of her freshman year at Caroline High, and after her meeting with Counselor Iron Will, he'd given her some pointers on how to be more assertive. And he lent her some motivational CDs from speaker Billy Goat. Unfortunately, she'd taken the lesson the wrong way, been an absolute nightmare to her friends. This was during a time when Sunset was too sexually involved with Flash to meddle in her affairs, or else it would have been worse. Still, the damage had been done, and though she had been forgiven back then, it laid the grounds for when Sunset split them apart until the arrival of Princess Twilight. You know, there are times when I almost forget that this is connected to the first movie. I'm sorry, it's just that this whole slice of life thing and this whole entire investigation into the lives of our cast is so well done that I forgot about some of the other parts. But she looked at the person reflected in her tablet. She had to wonder if that person was really gone. After all, what if everything they said about her father was true? It had been her that had been the blockade to it all. What if it was she who was to blame and not her father? She looked at her hand, holding the tablet. She could still see the bruising on the hand. Since it couldn't heal everything, or else it would have been too suspicious. Her father never raised a hand against her, but when she'd seen him for the first time in years, it had been her to lash out. Now her hand carried the symbol of her sin. As the Depeche Mode took the stage, she realized the whole day had passed and she hadn't eaten a thing, and her stomach was now demanding tribute very loudly. She had still finished those letters, so going out, even to one of the restaurants in the hotel, was not an option. Turning her back on the tablet, she went to the hotel's internet site and ordered room service. A chicken sandwich, sweet potato fries, and a Diet Cherry Coke. That done, she went back to what she was doing. 10 minutes later, there was a knock on the door, followed by a muffled Fluttershy, by this time, slipped on a pair of shorts and a t-shirt, went to open the door, only to be bowled over by Rose and Sweet Pea as they walked in, pushing an empty cart. "Sorry, but your din-din's been cancelled," Sweet Pea snarled. At the moment, she was wearing a black cape that seemed like something Rarity would make for some cosplayers that commissioned her. Rose stood there, carrying a backpack. Both girls had severe looks on their faces. "Oh, girls, it's, surprising to see you here," Fluttershy stammered. Prover wondered where her dinner went, and why were both girls here. "Oh, we gave the dinner to a homeless guy down the street," Rose said. "He absolutely appreciates it." "Really, how do you feel about that dinner, dude?" "Oh my god, this is the greatest chicken sandwich I ever had in my life!" There. I feel better now. I brought in a Chester D. Bum reference. I missed it. Besides, you wouldn't be able to hold in what you see we brought you. What you brought me? Fireside asked. What did you bring me? The ugly truth, Sweet Pea said in a cold, cynical tone as he reached for the next class and held the cloak draped over her body. As he tapped the shoulder, which was actually a class release. The cloak fell away, revealing nothing but what Sleepy had been born with. Boing! Fluttershy looked at the girl standing in front of her with wide, sharp eyes. Sleepy was just standing there, naked as a jailbird and not bothered in the least. Wow, you really aren't bothered by this, are you? Rose said sadly. I'll take your eyes off of Fluttershy, Sleepy said sadly. Do you know what my dream is, Rose? That I'll be a guy who'll sweep me off my feet, and I'll be able to bless when I disrobe. The naked girl uttered a cool, cruel laugh. So many girls dream of being sexually proficient with their true loves. I'm terrified that I will be. She sauntered over to Fluttershy, moving in a sexual manner. Fluttershy reacted, sliding back under bed until her back was against the headboard. Sleepy moved in closer, sliding into bed with movements that were practically instinctive. Everything on her was purely a sexual thing, and that freaked out Fluttershy to no end. Finally, with no more room for Fluttershy to move, Sleepy invaded her personal space. You think your daddy mistreated you? Girl, you have no idea what mistreatment is, Sleepy said, reaching out a hand to caress Fluttershy's cheek. Your parents are still alive. Mine are dead, and my uncle used me as his personal sex toy. I had to run away and sell my strails on the streets to survive. What? Fluttershy gasped. Sleepy retracted her hand. I have your attention. Look at me, Fluttershy. The chiffon-haired girl turned away. Sleepy screamed, Look at me, you goddamn historic fuck! Fluttershy did a gasp. Sleepy's body was a maze work of scars, puckers, and other indicators of a hard life. Do you see this? She said, pointing to a pucker on her right breast. A client did this to me in Sunnytown. Paid my pimp extra to hurt me, he said. My employer never told me a goddamn thing. She then pointed to various scars on her body, detailing all the injuries she took, all the times her pimp punished her, all the times she did drugs to numb the pain. If I could show you the scars inside me from the abortions I've had, those are even more horrifying. Sleepy's eyes started to tear up as he said, The very first one was due to my Uncle Tripwire. Fluttershy gasped. Like a wounded animal, Sleepy climbed out the bed, then went over to Rose and hugged her fiercely. Rose returned the embrace, but glared at Fluttershy with an anger that raised. Finally, Rose said, You did good, Pea. Go shower. Sleepy wordlessly took the backpack from Rose, then without asking, walking into the bathroom. Fluttershy could hear Sleepy sobbing before the shower turned on. I didn't know, Fluttershy said, looking at Rose with guilt. I had it easier. My birth mom merely abandoned me. I'm sure you heard about what she did to Scootaloo, Rose said, voice taut still angry, reaching down to pick up Sleepy's cloak. She folded it gently, then said, Would you hold this for me, Fluttershy? Fluttershy did so, never taking her eyes from Rose's scowl. Look, I owe you an apology for last night. Rose gave a slight smile as he said, Apology accepted. She then slugged Fluttershy as hard as possible in the stomach. Fluttershy collapsed to the ground, gasping with wrath, as Rose shook her knuckles. I meant what I said. I accept your apology. That is on behalf of your father. I dare say you hurt him worse than I did you. Fluttershy, eyes filling with tears, looked up at Rose, terror on her face. Why? Because your father loves you, and is getting ready to throw away his career in front of the whole fucking world just to appease you. He's throwing his whole life away for the daughter who doesn't fucking deserve it, in my opinion, especially one who uses her brother as an excuse. Fluttershy, ignoring to the pain, got to her feet. How dare you? No, how dare you? Rose roared. Your father wanted to help your brother. This girl was going to fake and bankrupt himself if it meant helping his son here. I know because my mom is his lawyer. Fluttershy looked in surprise, and Rose went for the kill. Your parents never told you because they thought you weren't mature enough to handle it. Guess they were right! All you've done is blame your father for everything while wishing you had him back. Guess what? He's always been there. You've been pushing him away, and now he's throwing away everything for you. And do you think that'll make him happy? It sure as fuck won't make you happy. You have one chance to fix this. One fucking chance. You better do it before he gets on stage. Rose pointed at the television as the Depeche Mode finished up the set. You have 30 minutes to make it down to Candlestick Park and make it right. Because if you don't, Discord throws away everything for you. You'll have a full world full of hatred. And all that will do is make you old and bitter. Fluttershy looked at the TV, and the caption on the bottom read, Discord on in 30. Big announcement. Oh my, I need to get down there. She gasped, take a step before falling to her knees in pain. Oh, quit that. I pulled my puds. Rose said, offering her hand. I'm a sport archer. I know my upper body strength. Fluttershy took it. Rose, I'm sorry. I'm not the one you owe an apology to. Rose said with a winning smile. You gotta apologize to everyone else later. Right now. We need to get you down to Candlestick. Because you have someone you really need to apologize to. Walking over to the bathroom door, she called out, P, ready? Yeah. Sleepy said, running a towel through her hair one last time. Looking at Fluttershy, she began with, Look, Flutters. No, Sleepy, I owe you an apology, but we'll have to do it later. Fluttershy said, rushing over to get her phone and purse. Right now, I had to see my dad. Darn you, fanfic, you really know how to ruin a good naked woman scene. You owe me. You owe me. I better have a naked sunset shower scene, or else!
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for,
the announcer said.
Discord!
The audience, the din grew as hundreds of thousands of adoring fans crawled out, Discord! Discord! But for 7 girls, they looked at each other with worry. Maybe she didn't make it. She didn't make it, Rainbow said sadly. The one time she needed to be here, she's not. Maybe she is, Pinky assured her friend. I believe in Flutters. Well, let's say it's our magic unicorn, Applejack asked. A TV at Twilight could see that as a reference to Sunset's earlier statement, but Applejack meant it sincerely. Magic 8 Ball says try again, Sunset said sadly. One by one, the members of the band took stage to ovation, especially as the band chose to wear costumes for the night's performance. Screwloose was dressed in a bizarre Catholic schoolgirl outfit. Freebrace walked down Star Wars Imperial Stormtrooper armor, sans helmet. Screwball, ever the flashy one, came out dressed in full samba attire. The Ray Soci walked out of a carnival in Brazil. The crowd went wild as the trio started to warm up their instruments. Then Screwloose started a drum roll, her hands deftly moving the drumsticks in rhythm, ready to introduce her boss and longtime friend. However, her heart was rolling. They don't do this. You're only hurting yourself. And a split second later, Discord ran out wearing a dog costume. Silverside's collar jingled and jangled as he ran on the stage, finally skating to a stop in front of the microphone. It hit his still recovering black eye as well. For those who hadn't heard his story, his PR spun out of utter bullshit. They would think it was part of the costume. Grabbing it with the ease born of years-long practice, he said, Good evening, Pasadena! How's the crowd out there in beautiful Lake Michigan? To all of you watching on TV, oh, your cable bills are going to suck! The crowd cheered and laughed, though something seemed forced about his sense of humor, so he didn't have his heart in it. Starting to swirl the mic like a baton he had, so let's get this show on the road, shall we? Let's do a little dance. A mambo! The sound of the crowd turned to a massive roar, as Discord hinted he was starting off with Manty Mutt's Mexican Mambo, a goofy little song he ran in high school. While never been a single, it was a crowd favorite and often played at concerts. Soon enough, the other 3 band members started up, Screwball hammering on the guitar as his T-Rex did when the song first was recorded. Screwloose, long familiar with the song, let herself slide to rhythm, with Freebase started grooving on his guitar. The trio passed the first part, where Discord was supposed to start singing. He didn't. Hoping he wasn't about to give up now, they fiddled around with an extended opening song that Screwloose had written for a concert in Copenhagen back in the mid-90s. Getting the second two, Skipcord just did that as well, standing still on the stage. Finally, putting his hands out, he calling out to the 3, Okay, that's enough. 3 members of the band immediately stopped, the music sounding discordant as the frontman's name. Discord looked at the audience with a microphone to his lips. That's it. I'm done. I quit. The audience fell silent as the grave. So they heard what he said. He said it again. I'm dead. Done. I can't live this anymore. I'm a liar and a coward. Do you know that wild party man who sleeps with every girl in every concert venue, does more drugs than South America could produce, and parties like he patented the idea? Do you? Because I don't. That's not me. Me? I live a lie. I carefully constructed a lie that my record label built, because I didn't like the idea that Discord was married and with 2 wonderful kids. That got the audience's attention. Someone in the crowd yelled, "No fucking way!" Yes fucking way. How do you think babies are made? Discord responded with a face that was his image, or went back to his true self. You know, they call me the Chaos God of hard rock, or the Alternative King's Jesters. Do you know what I listen to? I love the Cardigans, Cigarillos, the Cocteau Twins, Coldplay, OMD, D-Ray Corporation. Despite what I said in the interview, I don't own every Red Hot Chili Peppers album. My wife does, not me. Do you remember when I said that T-Rex was the worst guitarist there was, and I wish he went to hell? I don't. I never said that. When he wanted to go solo in ECI, I was proud of him. Why not? He's been my best friend for most of my life, not my rival. That was all PR bullshit. He's my kid's godfather. He's happily married to a great woman. And no, she's not a former Playboy centerfold. Blender Magazine lied. All of them are a label. What's the fucking difference? I don't even know myself. All I want is downtime to spend with my family. My wife, who I love more than anything. My son, who needs me. And my daughter, who has to go through a life without admitting who her father is. She's a high school student, and I'm sure most people think she doesn't have a father. That's my fault. I let the assholes in my record company dictate my life. I let the press build an image of me instead of tearing it down. I kept it up. I hurt my family by doing that. No more. You hear me? No fucking more. I won't watch my children grow up from afar anymore. I won't spend my anniversaries on tour, managing to sneak a day in with my wife. I'm tired of it. And I'm tired of living to my family, my friends, my band, and all of you. So I'm done. I quit. He put the microphone back on stand, getting ready to walk away. I just can't be the Discord the world wants me to be. He turned to walk away from the stage when he heard a voice. Dad! He looked up as if imagining things. He realized it was a real second layer as he was tackled up by a teenage torpedo. Discord, irresistible force, ramming him like a freight train, and the microphone stand crashed to the ground in front of an audience of 50,000 present, millions worldwide watching via broadcasts. Fluttershy, he spoke, not believing it. His voice echoed through the speakers as he didn't turn off the microphone. Dad, she gasped, don't throw away your career from me. I'm not worth it, Fluttershy said, hugging him. I'm so sorry for the way I've been. I didn't mean to hurt you. No, sweetie, he said, caressing her face gently. It was I who hurt you, and that's going to stop now. Not if you quit. That will make you happy. That will make anyone happy, Fluttershy cried. Just don't. My mind's made up. No, it's not. Fluttershy did something that shocked everyone who knew her, especially the 7 standing just mere feet away from her in the streets. Getting off the ground, she grabbed the microphone as she faced the crowd and spoke. Hello. My name is Fluttershy. As you guess, I'm Discord's daughter. It's true what my dad says. My brother and I had to pretty much live our lives without him because of his fame, the way the public reacts to that. I won't lie, it hurt. For some time, I actually hated him. I refused to speak to him. I never told my closest friends who he was. I went so far as to tell people I didn't have a father. And that was unfair to my mother as well. We came here because my mother, my friends, and Uncle T-Rex and all these guys hoped we would be able to work things out with him. She looked down for a second, then looked back at the crowd, admitting, I didn't. I was the one who gave him a black eye. It wasn't some for bar fight, was I know MTV reported, or the jealous husband of some guy whose wife he was hitting on, that I know Edith reported. I did it because I wanted to hate him so much for abandoning us. for abandoning me. But thanks to my friends, I was reminded that there was always two sides to a story. I recently discovered the truth, and I'm ashamed of how I acted. All I've become. I never wanted that. I never wanted to hate the man who gave me life and who loves me. She reached down, offering a hand to her father, asking, Dad, will you forgive me? There's nothing to forgive, he told her. It was barely audible on the microphone as he took her hand and she helped him up. And will you all forgive me for nearly taking away this man who has meant so much to you? She asked the crowd to look at the band. In the crowd, the 7 girls were completely, utterly speechless. To add to the chaos, both Rose and Sweet Pea arose to a second layer with victorious smiles on their faces. Okay, didn't expect her to go that far, Sweet Pea admitted. That was your girls doing? Applejack asked again. Yep, Rose beamed. Pea and I make a good team. Octavia looked appreciatively at both girls, then at the team pouring her out to firstly meetings. Yeah, that you guys do, was all she said. For Fluttershy, bearing her soul was both a heartwarming and terrifying moment. But then she looked at her friends in the crowd. All 9 were looking at her with smiles of support. With that strength, she then looked to the crowd, who was cheering. Somehow, the cheering was for her. May I? Discord asked for the microphone. A loving smile on his face that the crowd could see clearly. It wasn't the Discord they knew. No, somehow better. First, I happily handed it over, got her tiptoes and kissed him on the cheek. I love you, Dad, she said, hugging him. The crowd did aloud, murmuring, Aww! I love you too, sweetie, he said as he put her arm around her. Then facing the audience, he said with a grin, Guess I'm unquitting, huh? The audience roared with his approval, so loud that the crowd was nothing but noise for a few moments. Discord took off the doc suit, wearing 2 tight jeans and a patchwork t-shirt underneath. Then talked over the band. Hey, pass me that banjo, he told him. Screwless was positively bleeding. They called David, she told him. It wasn't me. Discord replied with pride in his eyes, pointing to his daughter. It was all her. He then shut up the mic and explained what he wanted to do. Freeface looked at him oddly. Screwloose laughed. Screwball simply shrugged. Somehow, I'm not surprised. With that, Discord went back to the stage. He handed Fluttershy the banjo and whispered something in her ear. But. Fluttershy stammered. I know you know how to do this, kiddo. Besides, you love that song, right? Yeah, it's Grandpa's favorite, she admitted. But I'm not a performer. It's not like I'm in a rock band or anything myself. Yes, millions of people know who you are now, so nobody's gonna really know the difference. He said, pointing to the audience and cameras. Her eyes went wide and he laughed. He had no problem telling you how you feel, right? Just relax and remember what you were taught. I will do fine. He assured her, flicking on the mic. He then shouted to the world, And now for something completely different from the other things which are not quite the same as this. He paused as he thought, Hey, I wonder if that phrase is trademarked. Anyway. Out of nowhere, the band started playing Back to Nautical, a traditional Irish folk song, and a favorite of Fluttershy's Irish-born grandfather, Discord's father. However, the lyrics were less of the type of famous version by Bing in the 40s, or someone in very rare 1992 version by Angry Love. In fact, it seemed, if anything, Discord was making up the lyrics as he went along. All his usual careless style. But the surprise went to Fluttershy, who played along with the banjo. She not only had the instrument down pat, even had parts in the song that required her to solo. Octavia's jaw dropped. Wait, I thought she didn't know how to play an instrument, Rainbow offhandedly said. Actually, she admitted to me 2 nights ago she actually knows how to play the guitar, bass guitar, banjo, and mandolin. She didn't learn them from him, but from her grandfather instead. She just tends to hide it because she never felt she was good at it, and, well, you know the rest. Not good at it. I'm a professional player who aren't as good. Octavia, dear, I'm sure she had her reasons for not telling us, Rarity piped in, and I'm probably sure she'll be more forthcoming in the future. After all, her biggest secret's out now, correct? I'm sure she'll tell us, Applejack assured the others as the song concluded just in time for the 4th of July fireworks. Watching from backstage with tears in her eyes, Posey had a smile that couldn't be stopped as it grew so wide she nearly looked at it with split her head in twain. Her family was finally whole once more, and they could finally be together as one.
Here, you're going to need these,
T-Rex said, handing her some tissues. She looked down, and surprisingly, he'd been crying as well. Here, I thought you were a big, tough guy, she gently teased, gratefully taking the tissues.
I am, but I'm also a softie.
He said, wiping his old eyes.
And I wonder how much of this is going to be public now.
Afternoon skies proposed them both. Spruce and I just got off the phone with the label. Discord's caused, well, discord. Marketing's apparently tying themselves a knot trying to explain themselves. A Rolling Stone is camped out in front of the New York office, whining quotes. Nothing's gonna settle anytime soon. Good, Pussy told her friend. It shouldn't. The following day, the girls were all at the Napa airfield, ready to go home. So, you're not coming with us? Fluttershy shook her head. I actually took the following week off as well. So Dad asked if I could come off him on tour dates to Sacramento. Then the tour bus would be able to drop me off at home while he's on the way to visit the rest of his tour. Sounds like you've got a lot of catching up to do, Twilight commented. Yeah, but it'll be worth it. First, I hugged her friends and thanked you for everything. Not sure what else you could say. I don't deserve to have friends as good as you all. We'll send a bill for your services, Rose cried. Sleepy laughed. But I guess that means you'll be moving to L.A.? Piggy asked sadly, her hair starting to deflate. That's where your dad lives, right?
Ha! As if, Discord said while walking up to them all, Posey and Angel in tow. He was dressed in a polo and slacks again. Very much not what was expected of him. It's something he realized. Actually, we're keeping the Malibu place as a vacation home. Actually, we own developed land in San Palamo. Something Golden Oaks.
Wait, you owned an undeveloped plot of land at the end of the street? Play asked. That means Fluttershy will be living down the street from us. Not immediately, Posey explained. We still have to build a home there, and that's gonna take a bit. We'll also be renting out the penthouse and Marriott residence to retreat downtown, since we still have ownership of the house we're currently living in. Fluttershy can still use it as an address, so she doesn't have to change schools if she wants to stay at CSS. I do, Fluttershy said, putting her arms around Rainbow and Sunset. I wouldn't want to leave my life just because it's changed. Well, flight's getting ready to go, so we need to get on board, Posey told them all. Best of luck, Flares, Sunset said, hugging her friend. The others did the same in tour, and said goodbye to Discord, Rose, and Sleepy as well. The other two promising to keep in touch with them. A few minutes later, the aircraft reached for the skies, with the girls, Angel, and Posey on board. A few minutes after that, Rainbow groaned, "Oh, man!" What, Rainbow? Sunset retorted, holding on to seat for dear life, now to move for her friends' strikes. We totally forgot to get his autograph!
End credits!
But moving to Canterlot, Dia, Rarity reminded her, you could get it at any time. Yeah, but I would be getting the autograph at Discord to Rockstar! Rainbow explained. When I see him again, he's just gonna be Flares' old man. And who wants to get an autograph from their friend's dad? Ick! In a dusty, forgotten library in Switzerland. Ow! Whiplash! Ow! I almost kind of forgot about you. I mean, I was kind of really enjoying this whole slice of life thing. Divine Right looked into a book that was centuries ago forbidden, nowadays forgotten. With his right hand, he summoned a ball of violet spellfire to his left, and appeared into the flames, looking for an answer only he could discern. He didn't worry about anyone else seeing him, as his bodyguard / lover Piano was on station with orders to dispatch anyone who approached. Canterlot, he whispered. So it begins in Canterlot. Somehow he wasn't surprised. For a rapid pedestrian American city, it had a surprisingly large magic field, for reasons no one could explain, and one that had, just as inexplicably, seen a lot of uses late, far more than the rest of the world. He grinned. His empire would begin with an end. It was fitting after a fashion, and after all, it was his divine right.